What up, and welcome to the OP-13 Buggy Disaster Class. Why is it a disaster class? Because this meta right now, OP-13, it's incredibly rough for Buggy. It's incredibly rough for a lot of decks right now. We have a rock, paper, scissors format right now with 3 decks. But it might actually not be a rock, paper, scissors. It might actually just be 3 top decks, the 3 best decks, which might actually only be 2, which might actually only be 1, which might actually only be 0, might have a fraud. But either way, those are the 3 decks everyone's playing right now, and it's really rough for Buggy. I know a lot of people have kind of checked out. They're looking forward to OP-14. I myself am very looking forward to it. I find myself on the sim playing VV a lot. I know that's EBO3, but very excited for that. Very excited for Boa. Very excited to kind of cook with Sugar and Perona as well. But in the meantime, we have a couple months before that gets here. And so I'm revisiting Buggy. Buggy's my favorite deck. And I wanted to try to cook it and try to make it work in this set. This might be a very tough task. I just want to say right now, we are fighting an uphill battle. I know that this is kind of viewed as like a guide video, but this is not really a guide. It's kind of just like how to find the right path to potentially win. You are always going to, like most of the matchups here, and we'll get into more detail later, they're losing matchups. You are going to lose. If you play Buggy, you are not going to win very many games. I want to reiterate that. If you play Buggy at OP-13, from a winning standpoint, you're not going to have a lot of success. But that doesn't mean we can't have a lot of fun clowning around. So let's look at how Buggy fares into the top 3 decks. Let's start with Ace. Ace is maybe the best deck right now, draws a lot of cards, spits out a bunch of block beards, really strong deck. And if you look at the data, now the data is provided by stats.tcgmatchmaking.com. We're able to see that it's about 50-50. Now this data was taken for only 1 week snapshot of ranked sim matches, but it's about 50-50. So that's encouraging. We're good against maybe the best deck. Now let's look at Zoro. And we knew Zoro was a bad matchup. This is one that's been known since last set. Zoro is one of the best decks against us, and that's not very encouraging. The win rate's not very, very great. But maybe if we were good against Emu, we could stand a chance. And the numbers also are very, very poor against Emu. So that's kind of how Buggy fares into the meta. I think if you want to cook Buggy, if you want to change Buggy, you have to... It seems like we're okay against Ace. We need to be good against Emu or against Zoro. The rest of this, the build I'm about to show you, it's more geared towards beating Emu. So here's the current build. Here's the leader, of course. We know ability, activate main. You can pitch a card and tap 5 Dawn, spit out any cross-guild character. So yeah, that's kind of how we're building. We're going to start off with Staple, Galdino, Searcher. I'm not going to go into too much depth of the entire build because we know some of these cards, but Search top 4 for cross-guild. Staple on the deck. Yeah, we got to run it. We also run 2 of the Galdino blocker. I was at 4. I think this is, if you wanted to build this more towards against Zoro, this could easily be at 4. I brought it down to 2. Yeah, just a good blocker. It does its job. If it gets rested, you get the draw. Normally run 1 pudding, but I upped it to 2 because we're a little bit more aggressive this time. So let's have this as a tool to potentially limit their hand size as we swing hard into their face. Alvida, of course, Staple, one of the playoff Crockett Mihawk, can be a pseudo 5 cost. Kabaji, similar, 2k, also a blocker, pseudo 5 cost. Definitely need that in the deck. Again, Staple. Buggy, we added Buggy back. The reason being is we want some plays on our forward on turn. This is going to help facilitate that. We also need to be aggressive to help us spit out the Mihawk a little bit earlier. So yeah, we needed to add that back in. And that's maybe why we limited the Galdino blocker a little bit. This is one of the cards that comes in. We have emoji similar to the Kabaji 2k blocker suited 5 cost. Getting into some of the 2Ks, the Kabaji, this is really good against Zoro as well. If you wanted to make this build a little bit better against Zoro, you could up this to 4. But I'm doing 2 and 2 here with this Kabaji. This Kabaji can't be KO'd when you in battle if you have a Buggy. With this other Buggy, just because it's a 7k body, I'm trying to get more 7k bodies against Emu. You could spit this out with the promo Buggy and have a 7k body that can swing, as well as Mihawk. Mihawk's obviously the better play, but this is just a little bit more insurance. Here's the Mihawk again, blocker. Best play off of promo Buggy, 7k body. You can cycle a little bit too. Very strong card. Promo Buggy running it at 3. Shuts off 3s and 4s. Huge card. We also have a 1 Crocodile in there. But yeah, we're going to skip 1 card for a second. Croc and Mihawk. Again, just old reliable. Staple of the deck. You need it. Spits out bodies. Does so much. So many periods. So many commas. So many different things this card does. Gotta run it. We're running it at 8 if I could. So yeah, Croc and Mihawk. Not much needs to be said there. 10 cost Buggy, again, not much needs to be said there. 10 cost Buggy, kind of not that great in this current meta. We don't have a chance. It's nothing really against Emu. Don't have a chance to really play it against Zoro. Good against Ace. But yeah, staple of the deck. Getting into another searcher, we have the Cross Guild Searcher event, just adding more consistency. Same as Galdino effect, activate main trigger. And then we also have a event here, the Ace Bow Down event that can give unblockable to leader. Haven't ever actually used that yet. Like it in theory. Also just like it as a +3. This could easily be Slave Arrow if you wanted to. Slave Arrow might actually just be better. But getting into the sauce, this sauce was recommended to me. The 8 cost Snake Man Luffy. This card really helps against Emu. If we spit out a bunch of 7s, it helps us kind of finish the game. This is more an aggressive build. We're going to try to spit out a bunch of 7k bodies, and this is the guard that can come in at the end with Rush, give some Dawn, help us do some plays. Again, Slave Arrow, if you wanted to make this better against Zoro, I think Slave Arrow is a really good card. You can potentially catch them a little bit with their leader ability. You can make it so it doesn't attack a character. Just a really good card in general. I think this would be an event if you wanted to build this more towards Zoro. But yeah, this is the build that we will be using for the video. Ace is the one deck that probably Buggy's favored. I would say favored, maybe not, maybe 50-50, but at least one they're not disfavored or unfavored, I would say. Kind of how we play against Ace is kind of typical Buggy. The idea is defend the castle, drop 10 cost Buggies, bottom deck their Kaiju. They don't really spit out a lot of bodies, but they do spit out huge Kaiju with the 10 cost Whitebeard. So the idea is we want to have a 10 cost Buggy for every Whitebeard that they have, and we want to be able to protect our board. The first thing of note they'll probably play is on 4 Dawn. They're going to play Marco. Again, I think this matchup, we both want the opposite role. They're going to want to choose second, and we're going to want to choose first. So on their 4 Dawn, they'll probably play Marco. That's the most optimal play. At that point, you might be a little tempted to try to shut it off with Promo Buggy into Mihawk, but it's very important to go ahead and do the Croc and Mihawk into Alvida anyways, or something along those lines, because the Jozu can come down next turn. There's also the Atmos. The Atmos can bounce Alvida if you go second, for example, and they want to hit your 4 cost. Atmos isn't too much of a problem. The Jozu is the bigger problem. It can hit your Mihawk in the Promo Buggy Mihawk combo. So get the Croc and Mihawk out first to prevent that from happening. Then once they get to 8 Dawn, their ideal play is going to be I Am Whitebeard into 10 cost Blockbeard. This is kind of how their deck works. They want to spam these. They want to get all 4 of them out. It's an incredibly strong card. And you can cheat it out for 2 less Dawn with the I Am Whitebeard. Every time they do that, we want to make sure we have a 10 cost Buggy. If we don't have a 10 cost Buggy for it, we're probably going to lose the game. If we can bottom deck it immediately, we're going to be in good shape. We bottom deck it, we play the next turn, we swing, and then we bottom deck the next one if they play it. Another incredibly powerful tool in the matchup is Pudding. Their hand size is going to get really big. So I would recommend running Pudding. I would recommend playing Pudding. I think one of the strongest plays you could potentially make is on your 9 Dawn turn. If you've already cheated out 4 bodies that will count as 5 costs at this point, at the start of your 9 Dawn turn, and you have 9 Dawn, and they've just cheated out a Blockbeard, a Pudding, and then buggying away the Blockbeard is maybe the most devastating play you can make. You're going to decrease their hand size while bottom decking their Blockbeard. One thing to note though is the longer you wait on Pudding, if you bottom deck a Blockbeard, you give them the option to draw that back, because you're putting it on the bottom of the deck, but then if you put in, they shuffle their deck, they could draw it. Now, maybe not something to worry about, but just something. The last thing to be cognizant of this matchup is Ace, in my opinion, is Roger the deck. They're trying to stall it out, play Blockbeards, and then hit you with a well-timed Roger. And that kind of can be scary because Buggy takes life early. Buggy's hand size gets small late and relies on blockers. So just make sure that try to stay at 1 life as much as possible. And if you put them to 0 life, be sure that you can survive if they drop a Roger the next turn. Other than that, I think if you see your cards, get the 10 cost Buggies, bottom deck the Blockbeards, you should be able to go on and win this match. So here we have a match with against a red-blue ace. We won the dice roll. We get to pick. We choose first. They're probably going to choose second anyways. We mold that hand. I didn't like it. Did have a 10 cost Buggy and a Galdino Searcher. This hand's kind of worse. They start off with an Otama. We Dawn Pass. They start off with an Otama. They get the cycle a little bit. We don't have a play here, so we're just going to swing a big. This is still probably a good play. I mean, some ace players will probably take the first hit anyways if we would have swing 6. Some might not, though, but we didn't have a better play. Lucky to get a trigger here to get the Croc and Mihawk. That's kind of like a priority. We want to get that out. Can't really swing, but we're going to leader ability Croc and Mihawk. We're going to pitch one of those Snake Mans into Alvida. We can pitch the other one, I think, but maybe not. Might actually keep it. Thinking about the Mihawk too. Want to keep all the 10 cost Buggies as much as possible for when the Blockbeards start getting dropped. Do want a promo Buggy though, so that's why I kept the Mihawk. Might not need another Croc and Mihawk. We're gonna get another search, and we're gonna be able to find the promo Buggy after they dropped a Marco and a Yamato. They probably should swing the Marco here because it's about to get perma stunned, but I guess they could use it to block. So yeah, now we draw another Mihawk. I think our play is pretty set up. We're just gonna swing 7 with well, first let's do this. Let's play the promo Buggy into Mihawk in case we draw Galdino Searcher. And then we're gonna swing 7 life here. He can block with the Marco and draw 3, which he does. Hand size getting big. This is where I think the optimal play next turn is he's probably gonna IM Whitebeards in the Blockbeard. This is what we have to expect. I think the most optimal play would be to have a pudding here and then drop the 10 cost Buggy on the Blockbeard. We're gonna take the first one and then probably counter out with the Mihawk second one. So we blocked. We're still, I think, at 3 lives, so still relatively healthy. But yeah, the play here is we're immediately going to drop the Blockbeard, or excuse me, the bottom deck their Blockbeard with our 10 cost Buggy. They have 12 cards in hand, I want to say. But first we're going to swing 6. I think we're just going to keep poking at the Yamato. We're going to swing the Alvida into it now. Swing 8 into it. We're going to get 2 cards out of hand, or they could draw a card for it. There are 11 cards in hand, though, so going down from 11 to 9 isn't going to change much. But at least we're picking away at it. Again, that's why the most ideal play would have been a pudding and then drop the 10 cost Buggy. I believe I am Whitebeard into Blockbeard again. This could be troublesome for one reason, because one, we're gonna bottom deck their Blockbeard again, but we want to clear the Yamato because we're gonna keep getting in the cycle where they can keep poking us with leader and the Yamato, and we just don't want to get any extra value. So I'm going to take this one. I'm anticipating this swing going into life, but instead it goes to the Alvida. I'll happily let the Alvida die. I'm probably going to play over it anyways. With the 2 Dawn, he plays the Uta. They play the Uta blocker, so we can't really clear the Yamato. We have to get kind of. We're going to swing into it. They could just give the Uta blocker, and here's where I think I'm going to make the decision, because I have a 4th Buggy in hand. I'm going to just Buggy away the Yamato. I think that's the safest play. We're going to pitch the Alvida for it. It's a little greedy because I want all my Buggies for Blockbeards, and like bottom decking the Yamato isn't the most optimal play, I guess. But and they accidentally pressed pass here, so I'm just going to press pass back. I know it doesn't naturally equate to it, but like, hey, we're trying to do our best here. Because if they drop the Blockbeard, like I can bottom deck this. I'm gonna be able to bottom deck this, and then and then swing all my bodies. I'm just going to give the Mihawk blocker here, and then now it's a time to just drop the last Buggy. Bottom deck the Blockbeard. We can swing 3 12s, and they just concede at this point. They do have a lot of cards in hand, and they probably might have been able to survive that one turn. I don't know. We had 3 12K swings and probably an 11 with lead. They might have been able to swing. We might have been able to survive another turn, but even if it was pretty over at that point. So yeah, again, this matchup is kind of like, do you have a Buggy for every Blockbeard? I drew all 4 here. It's also important to get the Kruk and Mihawk to stop the Jozu from hitting some of your things. It could hit a Mihawk, for example. I think it's more important to put Kruk and Mihawk out into hopefully an Alvida first, rather than promo Buggy into Mihawk. Take a hit with the Marco blocker, for example, because they can just Jozu away your Mihawk, and that puts you behind a little bit. And again, Pudding's very strong in this matchup. I think this, if I had to say, I think this matchup's favored for us. It's favored for Buggy. I mean, the numbers probably say it's like 50-50, but I think if you just draw the Buggies, it's just better than the Blockbeard. You just bottom deck the Blockbeard. I think we have a little bit more tools, but yeah. Anyways, this was Ace. The most important thing to remember when taking on Zoro is you're going to lose. If you approach it with that mindset of, I have nothing to lose, I think it makes it better. Zoro is a deck that has a bunch of tools for pretty much everything we do. It has Tashigi, 3-cost Tashigi, if we even get that far, that can just shut off our removal or make our removal very annoying. It rests all our characters when we're trying to kind of protect the board, and also is just aggressive. All of their resting, for example, the Quina rests an original cost of 4, which is huge because all of our characters that get buffed up to 5, like the Alvidas, Emojis, and Kabajis, their original cost of 4. So it's very, very tough. I'm going to detail some things that work for me. Not sure if this is the 100% the best way to go about doing it, but yeah, this is what we're going to do. I think it's imperative to go first. I'll hear arguments on second, but I think you got to go first. And I think the best thing you can possibly do is open with a Galdino. It's huge to have that body that can swing. If you have that Galdino body, you can use that to swing into the Hiyori or a Kuina, for example, maybe later on down if it's still there, and just clear something while also keeping your leader swing going for life. I think that's huge. I think the idea is we have to kind of pressure them back. We have to we're not going to win a long drawn out battle with them because it takes like 2 to 3 blockers per turn to keep yourself alive in the late game, and we just aren't going to have those resources. So I think a Galdino on 1 is huge for when they drop a Hiyori. Following that, on your 3-Dawn turn, probably just search again. Your 4-Dawn turn, their 4-Dawn turn, the most popular play they're going to do is the 3-cost Mihawk into the new 4-cost Zoro. That Zoro allows them to restand 2-Dawn on play, and that character also restands at the end of its turn. Doing this on 4 allows them to cheat out these bodies while also still putting 3-Dawn at least on leader, and getting to swing into a character and to life. So it's very imperative that on 5 you immediately answer that with a promo Buggy. Now, there's 3 things you can play off of promo Buggy. The first one is 5-cost Kabaji. He's immune if you have a Buggy on board. He can't be KO'd in battle. That's huge. That Kabaji is going to stick there. We're playing it with the Buggy. I would not play this Kabaji down if you did not have a Buggy on board. The other one is Mihawk. Mihawk's a 7k body, and it's a blocker. It also allows you to cycle. It can be rested by Tashigi. The last one is Buggy, the 2k vanilla promo. The vanilla 2k. The least best option of the 3. It's still a 7k body. You don't get a special effect. I would maybe advise against trying to play the 4 costs, the Mojis, the Kabajis. You can play Alvida, but the Mojis and Kabajis particularly, they can be kind of tough to play. I think that might be better to have in hand as 2Ks. Croc and Mihawk is a card that I would try not to play it as best as possible because they can swing twice into it and its stat line is not as good. It's an 8 cost 7k power, so it's kind of easy to kill, and they can swing twice into it. They're probably going to follow all this up if they're playing on curve with a Tashigi. That's kind of like their game plan is Tashigis at this point. And if they spam Tashigis, they hit 2 or 3 in a row, you're probably going to lose the game. But maybe if they miss a turn of Tashigi, it's not unheard of that they miss it, they don't have it on curve. That's huge. Another really important tool in the matchup is the Galdino blocker. I'm running a 2 in this particular list. If you wanted to be better against Zoro, I think it should be at 4. I think if it allows you to have a blocker that actually blocks. The idea behind a chump blocker is you can use it to protect your board. You're not going to probably be able to use it to protect your life. You can use it to protect your board. So in the example, if let's say you Croc and Mihawk into Alvida on 5 Dawn, but you already had this Galdino blocker out there. On their Tashigi turn, they can only rest 1 thing while still having 3 Dawn on leader. So if they rest the Croc and Mihawk, well, they can't rest that, but let's say they rest the Alvida, and they swing 8 into the Alvida. You block with the Galdino, then the 8k swing goes to your face, and you take that. If they rest the Galdino, they didn't rest the Alvida, so they can't swing into that, and you get to draw 2. So it's kind of it's a blocker that allows you to block. The last thing is they have the restand event. Just be cognizant of it. They could kind of keep in the back of your head. What would they do if they restood their Zoro this turn? They put all of it on Zoro and they swung. It's kind of when you get into 1 life range is where it really is a problem. It could be earlier, but that's the one. I think again, the strategy, cheat out bodies. Maybe you can get yourself into a spot where you can drop a 10 cost Buggy, but I would kind of count it as a luxury at this point. I think the idea is similar to other strategies of just cheating out bodies that are hard to mess with, protect the board, take hits on life, and hopefully you find yourself in a spot where all the bodies you have on board, you were able to generate enough pressure and steal the game. It's tough. It's really tough to navigate it, and I think the most important thing is you have to kind of hope they brick and that you see the perfect kind of curve. Yeah, it's tough. And now for a matchup against Zoro, we won the dice roll. We're going to choose first in this matchup. I think it's better to go first. I'll hear arguments on going second, but I think it's just better to go first. Ideally, we want a Galdino here. I think it's kind of huge to get an Galdino. We didn't get an Galdino after mulling. The reason being is if they play a Hiyori here and they search, I want my swing with leader to go into life. Even if it's a 5k swing, I want them countering out or taking that hit. Here they're going to do the most optimal play for them, and the most optimal play for them on 3 and also 4 Dawn is the 3 cost Mihawk into the new Zoro that allows them to restand 2 Dawn. They're going to be able to restand that Zoro at the end of their turn, and they're going to they have the 3 Dawn, and now they can do the Zoro thing where they can swing 8, but we don't really have anything on board, so they choose to establish a Koshiro blocker and swing 6 life. We're going to take this one. Now this is where it's huge, where we're going to swing 5. Promo Buggy is the play here. You have to have a Promo Buggy to shut off that 3 and that 4, and it's important to have a good thing to play off of it. The best thing we can play is a Mihawk. We don't have that, but what we do have is the 2k vanilla Buggy. So we're going to get 2 7s. The Kabaji here would also be good as well, because that can't be KO'd in battle by slash attribute. The Buggy's probably the 3rd best thing we could play off of it. But we got a 7k body at least. So they start off with a Verona Searcher. They're going to find a Cavendish here. So they're going to play the Cavendish, no Tashigi. Very lucky for us, but I feel like that's kind of the path, is you have to hope you get lucky and they don't draw Tashigi. So they have the Cavendish here. That's kind of the only body we need to worry about. We are on 7 Dawn. So we're going to pitch the Luffy. We're going to play Croc and Mihawk into... We don't have a great thing to play. I'm going to play the Kabaji blocker down. I wish I had an Alvida here. I don't. So we're going to swing 7 twice. We're just going to continually put the pressure on. Hopefully make them use that Koshiro blocker. Hopefully get their hand size down, or hopefully get their life in a dangerous total. So we swing these 7s here. We swing the first 7 they take. They're down to 3 life, I believe. And then we're going to get 2k, 1k here. Now they're down to 5 cards in hand. They draw for 6. Only real threat on board is the Cavendish. We have 3 2Ks in hand and a brick. Potentially could have saved 1 Dawn swing only a 6 and searched with the cross-guild searcher just to get the brick out of hand. Hopefully find another 2K, or hopefully find another piece. So maybe a slight mistake swinging the 7 there. Maybe should swing a 6. Yeah, because they play Dead Man's Game here. They rest our promo Buggy and our Croc and Mihawk here. And with the Cavendish, they can restand the Dawn. They're going to swing big numbers. They can swing into the Croc and Mihawk here. I can't afford to lose the promo Buggy. Here, they're going to swing 6 and restand. I'm just doing some math because they have, I believe they have 6 standing Dawn. They can swing 11. I need to save promo Buggy. I'm probably going to lose Croc and Mihawk. I could potentially not, but I have to take this hit, hopefully draw some counter. Instead, we draw a brick. So the idea here is we're going to see what the Zoro does. Worst case scenario, they put all Dawn on the Zoro and swing into the promo Buggy or the Croc and Mihawk. And we can counter out, I believe. So they put 3 Dawn on. They're going to be able to restand it. We'll see what they do with the remaining 3 Dawn. They're thinking it through. But yeah, maybe should have, again, searched with the Cross Guild Event Searcher. They put 2 Dawn on, leaving 1 standing. They're going to swing 10 into the promo Buggy. I'm going to block here. Now they can swing into the Croc and Mihawk, or they can swing into life. If they swing into life, I'm going to take. If they swing into the Croc and Mihawk, I'm countering. So I'm going to have to counter. I have to give 2 2Ks. And we pass. They have 1 Dawn standing. Here's where their hand size is kind of small, and with the 1 standing Dawn, I'm anticipating it being like a Dead Man's Game, so a +3 event for leader. So I'm wondering if we can maybe kill this Cavendish. So we're going to first search for, and we're going to be able to find a Galdino blocker. Or excuse me, we're going to be able to add a 10 cost. Probably not the best one to add, to be honest. I think 10 cost Buggy is very... If we had a 4 cost... If we had it at the beginning of this turn, absolutely, we could bottom deck the Cavendish. But we didn't have it at the beginning of the turn. We had to search for it. So we're going to swing... We searched twice. Crossfield found Crossfield. We swing 6 into the Cavendish. We're going to swing 8 into the Cavendish, expecting them to get the Koshiro blocker. If they do give the Koshiro blocker, and now I'm going to commit to killing it. I'm going to be a big number. We're going to swing 10, and we're going to tap 2 for the Galdino blocker. All right, we have a 2K in hand. So I feel okay about this. I feel okay about this play. We got rid of their Cavendish. We got rid of the only threat. And here comes the second Dead Man's Game. And they rest our promo Buggy and the Galdino. We get to draw 2, but we only draw 1K. Our hand is very bricked. We could lose everything this turn. If we lose the promo Buggy, their Mihawk and their Zoro can swing. So it's very dangerous. It's very scary. And here comes a big 11K swing, and we only have 2K, 1K. We have to let it die. If we have 1K more counter, we could have let it survive. But now they're going to be able to swing the Zoro, and he's going to be able to also clear. They're also going to be able to clear our Croc and Mihawk. So this feels awful. We only have 1 body on board, and we need to hit them twice. The floodgates are open for them with the Zoro and the Mihawk. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to find another promo Buggy. We're going to play the Alvida down to draw 3, trash 2. Going to pitch 2 bricks. Can find it. We're going to search one more chance with the Cross Guild event. Not going to be able to find it, but we can find a 2K. Our hand has quickly went from bricks to full of 2K counters. So what we're going to do is we're going to swing 7 here. And then I think what we're going to do is play some more bodies down. We could play the Mihawk down. Yeah. We can't play 2 bodies here, but I think what we can do is just pitch the 10 cost Buggy and play the Mihawk. You get a second body out, which is also kind of a blocker, but I don't want to use it as a blocker. And then we're going to pass. Our hand is 7 cards in hand, and it's all 2Ks with the exception of 1K. I think we're going to be able to survive. We just need to survive this turn, and then we push for game hard next turn. So here comes, first they play a Koshiro blocker down. Then they put 3 on leader. They have, I believe, 5s Dawn standing. They put, they up it. They swing 10 into 7. We're just going to let that die. It's not worth it. We kind of are in danger of losing if they have the restand event, if they put Dawn on in interesting ways. So they do restand. Now they're going to swing 5 life, and we're going to give a 1K here. And then they swing 10, and we just have to give 3 2Ks. They're going to be able to restand, but we're going to take the hit first, make them use the restand event, and restand. Now it just takes 3 2Ks. We get to 11. And then now they have 3 cards in hand, no standing Dawn, 1 blocker. We have 3 swings, and we also draw the Rush Luffy here. So I'm not sure if it's the most optimal play, but I'm pretty sure we have game no matter what. So I'm going to play the Luffy, swing 8. We're pitch a card. We have to pitch a 2K, bounce the blocker back to his hand, and give Arrested Dawn the leader. We swing 8. It's going to take 2 2Ks out of hand. We know he has 1K Koshiro here. He takes. Now he can swing 7. They just concede at this point. But we would swing 7. And then I think we can swing 7, 7, 6. Something in those magnitude. We just need to hit them once with them having 5 cards in hand. So what were the takeaways here? Promo Buggy on 5 Dawn is absolutely huge to shut off those 3s and 4s. We lost the promo Buggy, which is kind of funny because you normally don't lose it, normally you don't care, but the fact that they were going for it and committing so much resources actually probably was good for us because they weren't going as hard for game potentially. Yeah, and the main factor, why did we win this game? We got lucky. That's what it was. They didn't have a Tashigi the entire game that we saw. They didn't have a Tashigi on 5. I think you can win, obviously very unlucky for them they didn't have a Tashigi, but I think it's winnable if you don't have a Tashigi on 5. I think if you could just get set up a little bit, get your foothold, get some bodies on board, and swing at face, and potentially if there's some troublesome bodies, if you get an opportunity where they have small cards in hand, you can clear the Cavendishes and clear things like that to potentially go on and win the game. But I think you're kind of on a ticking time bomb here. You got to send a lot of hits to face. But yeah, Zoro. When Emu was first revealed, I honestly didn't think it'd be a problem for Buggy. I thought that we both would get to 10 Dawn, we both have awesome boards, and then one of us would just win the game. I was wrong. Emu is incredibly cyclical. It recurs resources, it recurs blockers, it does a lot of things Buggy can't do, and we can't mess with their board at all, while they can mess with ours. So it's been a very tough matchup. I've been trying to find the path. I've got inspiration from 2 different sources. One is at @Uta _card on Twitter. They reached out to me. They kind of give me some tips. The other one is at the Bugster on YouTube. I think it's at the True King of the Pirates. Both were great sources of inspiration. We'll start off with the Bugster. They recommended the promo Buggy, the blocker. I've heard of that before. I've thought that card might be good in the matchup. But they have a great showcase of how that particular card could be used in this matchup to kind of turn the tides in our favor. Unfortunately, though, we only have the sample rare here in the United States, in the West, so that's not an option now. We need to find another way. So this is kind of the deck list. This is kind of the idea to go with. One, you want to go second. This is one of the few matchups where you want to choose to go second. And on your first turn, you want to play a Galdino down. It's a swingable body. It can help if they play a Shirahoshi down. And it can you can put Dawn on it and swing it. I've done that before. On your 4-Dawn turn, this is where the 4-cost Buggy comes in. You 4-cost Buggy into Mihawk. This is the strongest play you can do. That Mihawk is now pretty much safe. The only way they can kill it is with one of their events, which takes their entire turn probably at this point. They can't kill it with Marcus Mars. So yeah, hitting that on 4 is huge. Then the following turns, on your 6-Dawn turn and your 8-Dawn turn, what you want to do is you want to hit one of these combos. You want to hit Promo Buggy into a Mihawk or the new 2K vanilla Buggy, or you want to hit Croc and Mihawk into Alvida. Those are the only options. Ideally, I think you do Croc and Mihawk first. Promo Buggy has value because it'll shut off their 4 costs, it'll shut off their War Crees and their St. J. Garcia Saturns, which they're prone to play early. You can stop a little bit of aggression. The Croc and Mihawk can stop them from KOing stuff if they play a Marcus Mars down. Equal trade-off. It depends on what your hand looks like. If you have a Croc and Mihawk Alvida, better to play that earlier. If you have Promo Buggy Mihawk ready to go and you don't have a great play for the Croc and Mihawk, play that. Those are the turns. That's what you do on 6 and you do on 8. On 8, what you could also do is to get an extra swing, put 3-Dawn on Galdino and swing 5. You want to go wide, you want to go fast, you want to go hard. The idea here is we're playing a bunch of bodies that can swing, preferably 7k power, and we're just going to keep every swing is going 7k to the face, 7k to the face, 7k to the face. What you want to make them do is use their resources. What they'll use the resources in the early game is the Workery blocker, which if they do that, like, fair play to them, there's not much. They're going to be able to recur that. They're going to get that back. So not the best for us if they use that. The other ones are the plus 3 and plus 4 events. The plus 3 only goes for leader, plus 4 goes, I believe, for everything. Make them use those. You're either making them use those, you're making them use their blockers, or you're hitting their life. Preferably we're hitting their life, and we're getting them to a spot that's dangerous with the pressure we're playing. If they swing into your life, take every hit. Unless you're going to lose the game, take every hit. If they swing into your board, try to save everything as best as you can. It's going to be hard to save an Alvida potentially. The only thing I would say potentially swinging into board is the Venestro. That can just blow up your board. If they get one of those out early and it stays on board, they can make it so that your board's way harder to defend and they can blow it up. Again, it's hard to kill it because they'll probably have the blockers and the plus events as well. They might be more inclined to let it die because they can recur it later. But that's the only thing. If the situation's right, maybe their hand size doesn't look that big, maybe they don't have any standing Dawn, and you can easily try to kill it. That's the only character I would swing board into. Other than that, you're going to face. Now the idea is we're going to keep playing all these 7k bodies. And then this is the tech that Uta_card told me. And I'm a true believer now. I've played this card before, but I think it's huge in this matchup. It's the Snake Man Luffy. At this point, hopefully you have 4 7k, or like you got a big board. You've been swinging at that. You've been able to protect it, hopefully as good as possible. You've got them maybe down to 1 or 2 life. On your 10-Dawn turn, you just go crazy. 7, 7, 7. Drop this down. 8. Put a Dawn on leader. Swing 6. You know, just really, really, really pressure them. And the idea is you're probably not going to win that exact turn. You might be able to if you put enough pressure and they didn't see the right cards. But the next turn, hopefully their blockers are all used. They don't have a good board. When they go to drop the 5 elders and start doing the recursion, your board's wide enough and you can defend it and you can push for game at this point. The longer the game goes on at this point, the worse it is in your favor. But that's the idea. Just keep spamming as many 7k bodies as possible. Protect them as best as possible. Take every hit on life. And then hope Snake Man Luffy comes in at the end and cleans everything up for you before they can start spamming the 5 elders. So here we're matched with an emu. We get to choose. We win the dice roll. We're always going to choose second. I don't know if there's a path going first. We're going to mull that hand. Looking at this hand, it's not ideal. We have a Croc and Mihawk. We have a Mihawk. We have some pieces. I really want a 4-cost Buggy. That's what I really want. Didn't draw. 10-cost Buggy, kind of worthless in this matchup. Looking for a 4-cost Buggy. Hopefully we can get it when we take a hit on life here, or if we draw into it next turn. We have 2 chances to get it. That's the most optimal play we can make, is to draw a 4-cost Buggy into the Mihawk. We have the Mihawk ready to go. They tap 3 for a Barto blocker. Didn't know emus were running that, but yeah, Barto blocker. We can mess with that. It doesn't have any sort of protection. We're going to start off with a Galdino search, see what we can find. Kind of already pieces we have. Let's add another Mihawk, and then we're just going to swing a big 8. We're going to need to force him to use the blocker, or he's going to take a hit. They're going to take a hit. And we get counter. Interesting. So we get 2 2Ks. They go to their 5 Dawn turn. They're going to start with 5 Elders or at your service. And they get to search and add. They're going to add a Venus Zoro. And then they're going to play the Warkery blocker down. I think it's gain blocker, and we can't really mess with it at this point. But yeah, they have the 1 blocker. They get to draw a card on. They also cycled right there, and then they're going to swing 5 life. We're going to take every hit on life, unless we're going to die. So we're going to swing. We're on our 6th Dawn turn, just thinking what to do. We're going to get the promo Buggy into Mihawk first. I did this first because I wanted to see if I could draw Galdino to search, but I'm going to just swing 6. They have the 1 Dawn standing. We're going to get the Warkery blocker. We get the Warkery blocker. So they gave him that probably because the promo Buggy. They still have the Barto blocker there, and they're still at 4 life. Their hand size, I believe, is 5 right now, so not the highest total. And next turn we can swing the Mihawk. The promo Buggy, it will shut off some aggression, but it doesn't allow us to be aggressive. The reason I opted for that was because I didn't have I don't think I had a 4-cost at that time to play off the Croc and Mihawk. So I went with the safe play. They play a Warkery and a Jupiter. So everything's going to be 7,000 power, and then they swing 5 life, and we just free block. So now the idea here is we Croc and Mihawk. I think the best play is probably to swing, or we're going to swing the Mihawk first. We swing 7, probably get one of the blockers, or hit their life. They have no standing Dawn. We succeed in hitting their life. Now here's where I think I make a mistake. I think what I should do, I think I did the math wrong. Because I think I was going to swing 6 with lead and then 5 with the Galdino. I was going to swing the Galdino, put 3 on, just to go wide. Because they had 2 blockers. I kind of wanted to see if we could get past the blockers at least. But I did the math wrong, so we're just going to Dawn up. And they gave us counter for that swing. So then we Croc and Mihawk into Alvida. Our board's protected if they play a Marcus Mars down to KO the Alvida. But right now, showing only 1 swing, the Jupiter. They could swing the Barto blocker, but I don't think they will. Going to swing a big 8 life. We're going to take the hits on life. And then here comes another 10. We're going to take that. We're down to, I think, 1 life at this point, so we're a little bit fragile, but our hand size is big. Going to swing 7 life. We get a +3 event. Going to swing another 7 life. Another +3 event. And here's where we're just going to deploy the Luffy, and we're going to bounce his Barto blocker back to hand. Now, we are bouncing a 2K back to hand. I could also, maybe you can make an argument for swinging into the Jupiter, but I'm just going to put everything to face. So we're going to swing 8 life, trash a card, bounce the Barto blocker back to his hand, and give Arrested Dawn the leader. And then now we can swing 6-7 with leader and the Alvida. So we swing 6, we get the Barto blocker, and we swing 7 here into life. And and we hit. So we've got them down to 2 life, and I think they've used almost every +3 event that they have. They have not used a +4 event. So the 2, and they only have 2 swings. They're going to swing 7 here, so we can give 2k, 1k. We are a little bit in danger here. Maybe should have kept 1 Dawn up for the +3 event. Also, I'm going to accidentally trigger some Windows updates here. We're going to make sure we decline that. So sorry about that little intrusion on there. But they do the 10 cost 5 elders. They're going to be able to bring everything back here. So here comes the entire everybody. I think the one okay, there they are. They're all there. The Marcus Mars, they can make us pitch a card to protect the Alvita, which we will. We'll pitch one of our bricks in hand. Just checking. I'm checking the trash right now too, and I don't see any +4 events, but I see a lot of +3 events. We're just thinking about how we can go for game here. So yeah, we're gonna pitch one of our bricks. The 10 cost buggies are kind of worthless, so let's just pitch those. They have 3 cards in hand. Currently showing 6 standing Dawn. They can swing the B Nestro. We can give 2k, 1k here. So yeah, but also I'm doing the math, and I'm gonna take this hit because I want them to put all their Dawn on leader and swing, and I can counter out. They pass. I think they meant to swing their leader, but if they do, we have enough Dawn to completely or enough counter in hand to completely counter out of the big swing. And if they don't, yeah, they only have 3 cards in hand. So we're at this point we're just gonna put a ton of pressure. So let's start off with an 8k swing. We get the +4 event. Going to swing the Mihawk now. We swing 7. We get 2k, 1k. So now their hand's completely empty. We can swing 5. Yeah, they have 2 blockers, so we're probably going to get those or at least hit their life. We swing 5 first. And we get the Warcry blocker, so they get to draw a card. And I'm just doing the math. I probably approached this turn a little bit suboptimally. I could have swung bigger numbers, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing another. I'm going to swing into the V Nestro. Let's just clear that because I don't want any more minusing. I don't want any more swings. They're going to have currently showing 3 swings, potentially 4. But also that forces them, like, what's that 1 card in their hand? What's the 2 cards in their hand? Like, they need to have a 10 cost. Or, like, they might not have a 10 cost. So we swing an 8 and they take. They didn't use the blocker. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to block her up. We're going to play a 2 cost Galdino over the Alvita. And we're going to play the Mihawk over the other Mihawk. Draw 2, trash 1, pitch a brick. We're going to keep 1 Dawn standing for the +3 leader event. They're going to swing 7. Let's just give the, we can give 2k, 1k. Instead, let's give the +3 event. 2 bodies on board, only 1 can swing. We basically just need to counter out of 1 because if they play the 10 cost, the V Nestro is coming back. They're going to be able to rush that. I guess we could need to be worried about 2 V Nestros. We give 2k, 1k there. At this point, our blockers can cover us, but we still have a... we can counter out of a 9k swing currently. They're going to lead, or they use the effective stage to play the V Nestro. They're going to swing 7. We can counter out of this or give the Galdino blocker. I'm going to counter out of this. And right now they have a bunch of Dawn standing. And just leader swing, I guess they could hard cast another. Here they're going to pass a Marcus Mars, which is a blocker, and they're going to attempt to leave KO our Galdino, but I'm just going to keep it because now they swing the leader. We just block. Okay, so now I think we pretty much have a math. They have 1 standing blocker, 1 standing Dawn. We had to have enough swings. I probably could do this a little bit more optimally, but I'm going to swing 7 first. Is you're going to use their blocker, make them use the event. They use the +4 event. So now it's just a matter. I think we swing 5-7 and we win 5-7. Like a 7 wins the game. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, we won the game. So this is, again, it wasn't the most optimal because we didn't get the 4 cost Buggy into Mihawk on our second turn, on our forward on turn. But the fact that we put so much pressure on them made them make their hand size super small, made them use a bunch of events, and we just continually put the pressure. It made them like not play the normal cyclical play, I feel like, and it also made their hand size super small, and we were able to continue to just press pressure. One thing though is like we probably couldn't have survived another turn. We took there's a little bit of a time limit. You have to put the pressure on, and you have to kind of win. The rush Luffy really helps put the pressure on right on that turn before they reach Tendon. We didn't put enough pressure on before the Tendon, but we were able to sustain the pressure through. So yeah, this was Emu. As we approach the end of the video, I just want to give a couple quick shouts out and thank yous. First, shouts out to OffTheRockers. I commissioned some art from them, Buggy as Hikari. So thank you for making my vision come true. I'll put their link in my description if you want to commission some art from them. Highly recommend. I also want to shout out at Uta_card on Twitter. Again, I brought them up earlier in the video, but they were a big help. And also, shouts out to Bugster. I think they're making some really good content, really good Buggy content. So I'd go give them a follow if you could. Thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate all the support. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.